Glances in the shotgun. Jared Rhodes to his right. Takes the snap. Under pressure, they're bringing the house, but he has an open man down the near sideline. Rico Bond has it at the 5, and he's in for a Lindenwood Lions touchdown. A 34-yard bomb from Glantz to Bond, and it's 27-3 Lions. Steve Hall on the day, 8 rushes for 42 yards. From the pistol, snaps it, carrying it to the right side. Steve Hall gets to the edge, to the 35, the 40, the 45, across midfield. Steve Hall still on his feet, inside the 30, tripped up and brought down at the 20-yard line. And the Lions are on the hunt, courtesy of Steve Hall. Trips formation to the right side. Glantz is in the pistol. Rhodes in the backfield. Claps his hands, takes the snap, hands it off to Rhodes. Up the middle, across the 35, still on his feet. He's loose. 10, 5, touchdown, Jared Rhodes. His second of the afternoon. The run game steps up when it needs to. 20-6, Lindenwood leading. So now it's 3rd down and 9, ball on the 35. Fakes the dump off to the right side, and now they'll give it off to Rhodes, and he has room to work to the 30, the 25, inside the 20, still on his feet, and into the end zone for a Lindenwood Lions touchdown. Jared Rhodes, a 35-yard touchdown reception on the dump off, and the Lions strike first here in St. Charles. Mason Miller standing at his own 4-yard line, ready to punt this one away. Snap, spot. Oh, and it's blocked! Kicked out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Elijah Thomas. The special teams has had its struggles all year long. On that play, they stepped up and they put themselves in prime position to add on to the lead. 2nd down and 10, ball on the 35. Zealous in the pistol. Hands it off this time to the All-American Roland Dempster, and he is walloped by Sanjay Strickland after a gain of 2 to 3 yards. Boy, he ran into the linebacker, and Strickland said no further.
At points, Lindenwood's O-line has had the advantage, but right there, it was the front 3 for UT Martin.
Glantz, play action pass, looking deep. He's got Smith open, in stride at the 20, to the 10, the 5, touchdown Lindenwood. A 62-yard touchdown pass from Glantz to Smith. And the Lions double their lead in one play.
Great catch down the side.
Play action over the middle. Jalen Smith's got it at the 10. 5, touchdown Lindenwood. Touchdown number 4 on the year for number 4. And the score is 27-12. The Lions offense pounces right back. So it's 3rd and 12, ball on the 13-yard line, marked on the left hash. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Glantz with Rhodes to his right, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, has a man open over the middle. It's Rico Bond beyond the 30-yard line. It's a 21-yard gain and a 1st down for the Lions. 1st down and 10, ball on the Lindenwood 16. They hand it off to the left side. Tommy Ainsley brought down in the backfield by Jaden Patrick. It'll be 2nd and long. Brandon Sims, the freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. From his 35, boom, line drive kick on a bounce. It goes to C.J. Bennett, picks it up at the 3-yard line to the 15, the 20, moving to the right side now to the 25. Still on his feet at the 30, the 35, the 40 when he's finally knocked out of bounds. Excellent return from C.J. Bennett. Boy, he has been very good in that role this year, and another sharp return, so the Lions are going to have very good starting field position. 3rd and 2 now. Ball at the 33. Glantz in the pistol. They motion Fugit to the right. Now reverses back to the left. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Looking to throw. Going deep. He's got a man. It's Bond at the 40, the 35, the 30. And he's brought down at the 20-yard line. Rico Bond with the big play. And the Lions are on the hunt. Trips formation to the right. Shotgun snap. Glantz dropping back to throw. Over the middle. One-handed interception there by Isaiah Huey. What a play to end the drive abruptly for the Lions. The 10th interception thrown on the year by Glantz. He was trying to find Rico Bond, and he was double covered. Not the wisest of throws by the senior quarterback. Kicking off for Gardner Webb will be the junior transfer from Fullerton Community College, Charlie Vioral. Homecoming weekend here in St. Charles, and we are underway. Boom! C.J. Bennett catching this one at the 5-yard line, carrying it to the right side where he is thrown down violently to the point that a flag comes out and either a face mask or a horse collar, but it looks like Lindenwood is going to have good fielding position here to start. It was a face mask against Jordan Jackson for Gardner Webb. So the Lion offense will take the field at their own 33-yard line, led by Nate Glantz. Truman.
Yeah, Nate Glantz, redshirt senior, Elkhorn, Nebraska, second year in the Lindenwood Lions, and he has looked fantastic. Leads the OVC Big South in passing yards, 1,600 yards, and 12 touchdowns through the air, is second in the conference.
Shotgun formation, motioning Rico Bond to the left side, faking the handoff to Hall. Screen pass to the left side, across the 35, to the 40, the 45, and still on his feet. No, they say that he stepped out of bounds. Boy, oh boy, for a second there, I thought that Rico Bond squeezed his way up the far sideline. Regardless, though, a first down, and the Lions offense moving to start.
Well, I think it fooled me. I thought that ball was in Steve Hall's hands all the way. I think whether they had given it to Hall or like they did throw it out to Bond on the far side, there was a big gain, and that's just an extension of the run game. Throwing it out on that, have blockers out in front. Bond can create.
A gain of 13 on first down. Glantz in the pistol, Hall in the backfield, takes the snap. This time Steve Hall carrying it up the middle, shakes off one man where he's upended at the Lindenwood 49-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and 7. The tackle made by the defensive end, Robert Holtz. Keep an eye on him today. 10th in the country in tackles for loss. 2nd down and 7 now. Just over a minute into the contest. Lindenwood versus Gardner Webb. Nate Glantz is in the shotgun. 4 receivers split. Takes the shotgun snap. Looking to throw. He'll check it down to his running back, Steve Hall, who carries it into enemy territory before he's brought down by the outside linebacker, Jackson Marshall, for a gain of 2, and it'll be the first 3rd down opportunity for Lindenwood today.
Yeah, and Lindenwood for Glantz is going to be important. Get the ball out quick, especially with a guy like Holtz coming off the edge. So you got to watch on this defensive side of the ball for Gardner Webb. He had a streak of 4 straight games with the snapped last week. So UT Martin was able to keep him and keep their quarterback upright.
Trips formation to the right side. The tight end, Fugit, just off the line. And Lindenwood will audible now after the hard count. Jalen Smith, the lone receiver, to the left. Glantz in the shotgun. Hall to his left. Takes the snap. Gardner Webb rushing 4. Throwing deep down the near sideline, and it's incomplete. There was some pushing and shoving between the intended receiver, Jalen Smith, and the man in the secondary for Gardner Webb, but the ball was overthrown regardless, and it will be 4th down. Q Billingsley was in coverage there. A.J. Vinatieri punting this one, and it looked like it was going to be fair caught at the 1-yard line, but the punt returner, Anthony Lowe, let that one bounce into the end zone, and Lindenwood thought for a moment that Lowe touched it, and they tried to receive it in the end zone, but they're, I don't think they're going to get the call, despite their best effort.
It was a late wave from Lowe. He was backing up, and I was surprised he didn't wave just early. Sometimes you see guys, when they're backed up like that, they know where they are, and they just wave it early. But Lowe, he was backing up inside the 5 towards the 1. It was a late wave, and then he almost caught it, and then it was at the last second he pulled his hands away, but I think that's the correct call. I don't think he touched it. Lindenwood trying to fight, trying to get any advantage they can.
So the drive will start at the 20-yard line for Gardner Webb, and the quarterback out there is indeed Cole Pennington, who started last week as well for the Runnin' Bulldogs. Quayshawn Holmes in there to the left at tailback. He is going to fake the handoff to him, and it's a quarterback keeper to the left side on the option play. It's a gain of 4 to the 24-yard line where Tajay Passamore, the 3rd-year transfer out of Wagner, is able to bring him down. Had a sack last week to go along with 2 total tackles. And it's 2nd down and 6. 3 receivers set, 2 to the left. Pennington takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throwing left on the screen pass to Chris Lofton. He's able to stay on his feet after Eric Gant tried bringing him down, and then after moving his way beyond the 30-yard line was brought down by Sam Owens. It is a first down on the 6-yard gain.
Yeah, Gant came flying down, avoided the block, but then it was just an over pursuit. He went high instead of going low, and he just flew over that tackle. It was an easy gain right there.
First down and 10. Ball on the 31-yard line. This time, Quayshawn Holmes will carry it as he angles to the right side, and he's brought down near the line of scrimmage by Devin Edwards. First game of the season on the 2 deep, recovering from the injuries that he endured midway through the 2024 season. Great to see the captain for the Lions back out there.
This linebacking core has been really strong for Lindenwood. Now having Edwards back is just another guy in that kind of mid part of the defense.
Second down and 8. They gave him 2 on the play. Empty backfield, throwing over the middle. Pennington finds Chris Lofton, who brings it in at the 39-yard line, hit immediately by Alex Dawkins and Sam Owens, and it'll be third down after the 4-yard pickup, 5-yard pickup, third down and 3.
And Lofton was Pennington's favorite target last week, Ethan. 6 catches for $130. He's had 3 games with 90-plus yards and also 3 games with 4 or more receptions. So expect him to get a lot of targets here today from 12.
Pennington, shotgun snap, hands it off to Holmes, carrying it up the middle, and they're pushing him forward. And I think that second effort got Holmes the first down. It looked like Lindenwood had held him initially. Kudos to the O-line. They allow for those chains to be moved, and it'll be first down and 10.
Running lanes were thin for Gardner-Webb last week, just 83 total rushing yards as a team. Holmes was held to just 10 carries for 32 yards. It'll be interesting. Can they get him going? He had a big game against Lindenwood last year, Ethan.
A gain of 2 on the play. First down and 10 from the 42 on the jet sweep, to Lofton, now across midfield. Inside enemy territory near the 45-yard line. Devin Edwards brings him down, but not before. A second straight first down for the running Bulldogs, who are off to a better start on the ground today. Carson Greasock entering into the game for Holmes, and it'll be first and 10 at the Lindenwood 46.
I like these play calls for Pennington. Just short, simple passes, get him in rhythm, and you're finding Lofton. You're finding your best guy early.
Tight formation at the Lindenwood 46-yard line, motioning a receiver to the left side. Carson Greasock carrying it up the middle, and the Lindenwood defensive line brings him down after a gain of 3 on the play. It'll be second down. Zach Nielsen in there on the mix for the Lions. The first-year transfer from Tulsa, from Brisbane, Australia. Second down and 6. Ball at the 42-yard line. 3 receivers set, 2 to the left. Pennington takes the snap, hands it off to Greasock. Up the middle he goes across the 40-yard line. Brought down at the right hash near the 37-yard line by Jacob Waller, the conference's leading solo tackler. And it was short of the first down marker, so it will be third down and 2.
And a third and short. Just a few plays ago, Gardner-Webb got the better of Lindenwood. Now another third down opportunity. Can Lindenwood get off the field?
Another tight formation. Bevino to the right side, takes the snap, and this time Carson Greasock has room to work across the 30-yard line where he's brought down. There was a flag in the secondary, and it's going to be an illegal blindside block against Gardner-Webb. So that will push the running Bulldogs back, and fortunately for Lindenwood, because Greasock had a pretty solid gain there on third and short, and that would have moved the chains.
Yeah, right now Gardner-Webb's offensive line is getting a great push up front, and it's allowing their running backs to be patient and wait for the hole to open up. So that's a big break for Lindenwood. Now third and long. We'll see if they allow Pennington to air it out. Maybe they just try to run it again, get past midfield, and get in a situation where they can go for it.
These are the 2 most disciplined teams when it comes to penalties in the conference. Only 35 penalties coming into the day for Gardner-Webb. That one, they're 36. Third down and 17 now, back in their own territory at the 49. Pennington takes the snap, and he's going to fake the handoff. He's looking deep. Over the middle, he has a man bobbled and caught by the receiver, Jabre Bevino, inside the 20-yard line. What a play, and a missed opportunity for the Lions, who had him on third and way long.
Great throw from Pennington. Offensive line held up, and Bevino was just wide open up the seam, and Gant was just a little late coming over. Felt like if Gant was a step that way, he could have laid the boom, because that ball was in the air, and Bevino, great hand-eye coordination to pull that one down.
Under 8 minutes to play now in quarter number 1. No score here at Hunter Stadium. 4 receivers out wide. They motion the tight end to the left side. Pennington, pocket collapses on him, spins out of one tackle, and he dumps it off to the right side to Grisak across the 15-yard line where he runs a man over and heads out of bounds. That was Newkirk, I believe, that he trucked. So Gardner-Webb gets something out of nothing.
I don't know how Pennington got out of that one. Lindenwood really collapsed the pocket, did a great job, and Pennington just backpedaled, spun out of one tackle, another arm tackle before Strickland got to him, and then he's able to find Grisak. Great play by Pennington.
Second down now. Ball at the 15-yard line. A back on each side of Pennington. Grisak to the right, Holmes to the left. Two receivers split. Takes the snap. This time Grisak angling up the middle across the 10-yard line. Still on his feet inside the 5. And he's finally brought down near the goal line at the 2-yard line. Big run there for Carson Grisak, who's averaging just under 70 yards a game this year.
And it was another run play, Ethan, where it was about 6 yards before a Lindenwood defender even touched Grisak. Talked about the battle in the trenches in the pregame, but also in last year's matchup, this was a dominant running Bulldog rushing attack.
First down and goal. Grisak in the Wildcat takes the snap, carrying it up the middle near the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown, Gardner-Webb. Carson Grisak takes the snap himself, and an impressive first drive for the running Bulldogs. The Lions had their opportunity to stop them, but weren't able to capitalize, and it's 6-0. Gardner-Webb leads early.
Gardner-Webb did a nice job. They established the run, and then Pennington some early throws, but then the biggest play of that drive was the third and very long. Pennington finds Bevino up the seam, extends the drive, and they capitalize with a touchdown.
Charlie Viorel is on for the PAT. High snap, but a clean hold, and the kick is up and through the uprights. Good, making the score 7-0. Gardner-Webb with a 80-yard drive on their first of the game. So Viorel will boot this one away from the left hash at the 35-yard line. Reese and Bennett standing at their own 3. Boom! Bennett lets it take a bounce at the goal line. The drive will start at the 25 for Nate Glantz and the Lindenwood Lions offense.
And now if you're the Lindenwood Lions offense, you got to find an answer. Unfortunately, you're going to have to keep scoring yourself until your defense can find a stop or manufacture a stop.
Glantz is in the pistol. Steve Hall in the backfield takes the snap, hands it off to Hall, angles to the right side, and then back up field right across the line of scrimmage, downed after a gain of 2 by Antonio O'Berry. Second down and 8. Steve Hall on the day. 8 rushes for 42 yards. Trips formation to the right. Smith, the lone receiver, to the left. From the pistol, snaps it, carrying it to the right side. Steve Hall gets to the edge, to the 35, the 40, the 45, across midfield. Steve Hall still on his feet, inside the 30, tripped up and brought down at the 20-yard line. And the Lions are on the hunt, courtesy of Steve Hall.
Shades of last year's homecoming game when he would just seemed like he was stopped dead in his tracks, and then he would just hit the hole, burst outside. Darren Fugit, Drew Crobath, huge blocks on the outside, sprung Hall. And I'm sure, with that ankle, he's not back up to full acceleration, but a huge play right there for Steve Hall.
Jared Rhodes into the backfield now for the Lions at tailback. 3 receiver set, 2 to the left side. Rhodes going to get the carry. Patient trying to find a hole up the middle. He's able to get it to the 20-yard line, a gain of 2. It was originally marked at the 22-yard line. So second down and 8 now for Lindenwood inside the red zone. Their 16 red zone touchdowns this year is 3rd in the Big South OVC. They get into formation here. Glantz is in the pistol. Crobath out wide to the left. Bond to the right. In the pistol, Hall back into the game. Takes the snap. Steve Hall's going to carry it up the middle. Spins around another man. Tries bouncing off one inside the 15, but he's brought down. There is a man down for Gardner-Webb near the 10-yard line. And the athletic trainers for the running Bulldogs will address the injury, and it'll give Lindenwood a moment to catch their breath. Injured players back on their feet, and the drive will resume here momentarily for Lindenwood. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Ball will be at the 14-yard line. The Lions 4 of 8 today on 3rd down.
And it's 3rd and short, so I think
you giving it to Hall?
Barring a huge loss, I was going to say at least it's 4-down territory, but I think you can give it to Hall again. You're getting a good push up front, and Hall, that twitchiness that we saw so many times last year, I feel like is back. He's really he's really trusting in those ankles, sticking his foot in the ground, making some nice moves. He's been able to bounce off contact, fight through contact. I'd give it to Hall.
Steve Hall now 10 carries for 98 yards. That previous run, or should I say that previous long run, 51 yards that got the Lions cooking deep in enemy territory. So the ball, as mentioned, on the 14-yard line. Lindenwood trailing by 18, 3 possessions. A game that being played out very similar to how last year's went against Gardner-Webb. They found themselves trailing by 21 in the 4th quarter. They were finally able to get a couple of stops on defense and get it back to a touchdown game, but ended up falling 42-35. At some point, the defense has to get a stop regardless of what the offense does. 3rd down and 2. Glance in the shotgun. Play action to the end zone. He overthrew Darren Fugit in the end zone, incomplete, and it is 4th down. So it's 4th and 2. The Lions are going for it. They have to here. A field goal would keep it at a 3-possession game. They motion Bond to the left side. Takes the snap. Steve Hall carrying it up the middle. Second effort, I think, is going to get it for him. A patient run for Steve Hall to the right side. Gives it to him. So it's 1st down now and 10. Ball is at the 12-yard line.
Give credit to Gavin Hewlett on that one. They pulled, and Hewlett, I think that little last push he gave Hall was able to keep Hall's legs moving and get that extra yard for the first.
12-man personnel, 2 tight ends into the ball game for the Lions. Vaughn Johnson and Cole Watson. Under 7 to play in quarter number 3. Glance, shotgun snap, low snap, firing near side of the end zone. Smith, incomplete, no flags on the play. The coverage by Darius Johnson, the redshirt junior out of Watkinsville, Georgia.
Yeah, that back shoulder throw to Jalen Smith. How many times have we seen him and Glance connect on that one? That one just a little too far outside that back shoulder. Smith also just a little too late turning around. He was trying to run off his man before turning back around. That ball just a little bit out of his reach. But the throw is there. If that throw's online, Smith hauls that in.
2nd down and 10. Ball at the 12. Glance in the shotgun. 3 receivers set. Hands it off to Steve Hall to the left side. Bouncing off tacklers inside the 10 where he's brought down by Robert Holtz, the defensive end for Gardner-Webb. 3 tackles on the afternoon.
Again, same scenario, I think. Here, 3rd and 6. It's 4-down territory. Field goal, like you said, Ethan, keeps it a 3-possession game. You need 6.
3 receivers set. Smith, the lone receiver, to the left side. Glances in the pistol. Hall in the backfield. Takes the snap. Throwing to the right side. He's got Bond at the 10. Carrying it to the near sideline. Spins out of 1. Getting close to the goal line. The extra effort is enough to move the chains for a 1st down. Rico Bond with a 6-yard reception, and there's another running Bulldog down on the far sideline. So Lindenwood will head back to their sideline.
That last play, Drew Crowath is going to go unnoticed. He threw a huge block. He also blocked his man into the guy trying to tackle Bond. Allowed Bond to get the first.
Darren Fugit out of the medical tent. Still not in the game, though. Glance in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Rolling out to the left side. Trying to find anything in the end zone. Nothing's there. He throws it behind the end zone. And there's a flag out on the play. And this is going to be a roughing the passer on Antonio O'Barry. So Nate Glantz finally gets his call that he had been looking for. We see it here on the replay. It actually
might have been Jackson.
That was
Marshall.
Actually Jackson Marshall. So that will move Lindenwood, a half a yard closer, if that. They were already marked at the 1.
Looks like the ball is inside the 1 now. So, just about the length of the football away from the end zone.
2 receivers split. Glance in the pistol. Hall in the backfield. Glantz takes the snap, hands it off to Steve Hall, up the middle, powering his way into the end zone for a Lindenwood Lions touchdown. Steve Hall, 13 rushes, 105 yards, and a touchdown to go along with it now, and the Lions have it back to a 2-possession game with the PAT. They can make it 35-20.